If you drop a regular Easter egg, you get a mess. If you drop a Ukrainian Easter egg, you might accidentally destroy 300 years of symbolism, pagan sun worship, Christian theology, and one very intense family tradition. No pressure. Ukrainian Pysanky are not just decorated eggs. They are coded messages, protection charms, folk art, and possibly the most overachieving eggs in human history. So today, we're going to unpack how Ukrainians turned a fragile little egg into a cultural artifact that survived paganism, Christianity, the Soviet Union, and your local craft store's die kit. Welcome to Ukraine Unfiltered, where we talk about all things Ukrainian history. Today, we are talking about Pysanky. Not painted Easter eggs, not cute Slavic crafts. No, we are talking about wax-resist, symbol-loaded, pagan-surviving, empire-outliving, culturally defiant masterpieces on eggs. Yes, eggs. Because apparently, ancient Ukrainians looked at a fragile calcium shell and said, you know what this needs? Theology. First, vocabulary. The word pysanka comes from the Ukrainian word pisate, meaning to write. Not paint, write. Because you are not simply decorating an egg. You are inscribing meaning onto a cosmic oval of destiny. A pysanka is created using a wax-resist method. You write on the egg with the melted beeswax using a tool called a kistka. Then, you dip the egg in dye. The wax protects the covered areas. You repeat this process from lightest to darkest color. At the end, you melt the wax off and suddenly all of the hidden designs are revealed like some kind of Slavic art magic trick. And unlike the Western hard-boiled and forget-about-it egg tradition, pysanky are traditionally raw, which means they are very fragile, which means they demand respect. Now let's go back, way back, before Christianity, before Kievan Rus officially adopted it in 988, before empires decided Ukraine looked like a fun place to invade recreationally, the egg was already sacred. In pre-Christian Slavic belief systems, the egg symbolized the sun, rebirth, and the cycle of life. It was cosmology in snack form. Spring equinox arrives, snow melts, crops return, the sun wins again. You celebrate by decorating eggs with solar symbols because, obviously. Many pysanka symbols are rooted in this era. The sun motif, spirals representing eternity, the Berehenia, a protective goddess figure, meanders and endless lines symbolizing continuity. Then Christianity arrives and says, hello, we also like the rebirth symbol. And instead of deleting the tradition, Ukrainians do what they do best. They adapt without surrendering identity. So pagan symbols blend into Christian meaning. The egg now represents Christ's resurrection. Red dye symbolizes sacrifice. White means purity. But underneath, the ancient sun is still there. Before we dive into how pysanky are made, let's start with something just as important, how to say the word. It's pysanky, not Pysanky. Pronunciation matters. Think about it this way. If someone mispronounces your name once, it's an honest mistake. But if you correct them and they keep saying it wrong, eventually it stops feeling accidental and starts feeling disrespectful. Cultural traditions deserve the same courtesy and respect. Words carry history, identity, and meaning. So if we're going to talk about this tradition properly, the least we can do is say the name correctly. Pysanky, or singular, pysanka. Now for the fun part, let's talk about how pysanky are made, because it's both awesome and intense. So step 1, you begin with a clean, raw egg. Step 2, using a kistka, dip it in beeswax and melt it over an open flame. Because if your craft does not include a mild burn risk, is it even authentic? This melted wax is your ink, so to speak. With the kistka, you cover everything you want to remain white. Once that's done, you move on to the next step. You dip your egg in the dye using the lightest dye color first, which is usually yellow. You dry that and then repeat step 2, writing more wax over the parts that you want to stay yellow now. Then you dip that into orange. You dry it, more wax, then red. Dry it, more wax, then maybe blue or green, sometimes purple, and finally black if you're going for the full dramatic masterpiece. Each layer locks in the previous colors. You are thinking backwards. You must visualize the final design from the beginning. This is not a vibes-based craft. This is strategic planning on an oval surface. Finally, you hold the egg near a candle and gently melt all of the wax and wipe it away. And that reveal moment is pure dopamine. Suddenly, all the bright geometric patterns emerge from beneath the soot-dark surface. It looks ancient, intentional, powerful. And it is. The final step is to poke a hole in the top part of the egg and the bottom and gently blow out the yolk. And voila, your pysanky is complete. Now for the real reason pysanky are not just pretty. Every symbol carries intention. Traditionally, pysanky were not just random gifts. They were messages, color meanings. Red means love, life, and sometimes the blood of Christ. Yellow represents harvest, warmth, and the sun. Green represents spring, growth, hope. Blue, the sky, and good health. Black represents eternity, remembrance, respect for ancestors, and white is purity and light. The pysanky is not like the Easter eggs you see in cartoons, a colored egg with polka dots on it. The eggs hold significant designs and meanings. Some of the most common symbols you'll see on pysanky are the sun or star, as mentioned before, which means protection and light, because if the sun fails, everything fails. Stakes are high. The tree of life, a connection between heaven, earth, and the underworld, also a reminder that your family did not start with you. Wheat, which means prosperity and abundance, extremely relevant in a country often called the breadbasket of Europe. The berehenia, a protective female spirit figure, guardian energy before guardian energy was trendy. One thing you'll almost always see on pysanky is geometric divisions. Eggs are often divided into thirds, fourths, or eighths. These divisions represent order in a universe. Chaos is not invited into Easter. Some regions in Ukraine developed specific patterns unique to their villages. You could sometimes tell where someone was from just by how they wrote their pysanky. Identity on an egg, if you will. During the Soviet era, Russia wanted to eliminate all things Ukrainian, so religious traditions were suppressed. Folk customs were discouraged, and expressions of national identity were monitored. Yet, Ukrainian people never gave up, and like many other Ukrainian traditions, pysanky survived. They were made quietly in homes, passed down from mothers to daughters, preserved in diaspora communities in Canada, the United States, and beyond. And then tradition became more than a seasonal decoration. It became cultural resistance. When something survives attempt at erasure, it becomes sharper, more intentional. Today, making pysanky is not just about Easter, it's about continuity, memory, and refusal to disappear. So when you see a Ukrainian Easter egg, understand this. You are not looking at Girls' Craft Night. You are looking at pre-Christian cosmology fused with Christian theology, encoded in wax, preserved through empires, carried across oceans, and still being written today on something fragile, which honestly feels metaphorical. If you enjoyed this deep dive into pysanky, remember to subscribe to Ukraine Unfiltered for more history, culture, and the stories that survive no matter what. And if you have ever tried making pysanky and realized halfway through that you absolutely miscalculated your color order, welcome! That is a Ukrainian rite of passage. See you next time.